Hi guys, I want to especially welcome you again for another episode of Stories. And those anytime I come on Stories wearing a cap, then it means that we're about to hear something really, really serious. All right. First and foremost, Happy New Year. So good to still have you on board this new year. Sometimes I've been thinking that do I stop stories? Do we stop? Probably because of the um, expansion of the works at my disposal in this season, beyond just my base. But then it occurred to me, the number of people who are getting hope and healing from the stories they're listening, and that's the sole reason why we keep pushing, for this to continue against all odds. Now, the story we're about to listen to this evening is a very, very serious one. And I have with me here a senior police officer who has a very interesting story. And I want you to listen. I'm aware many of you have seen the excerpt online, and that's why you said, you have to hear in full. I've heard things today that has caused my ears to tingle, and I know you need to hear these things also. And according to our custom, I always allow my guests hit the ground running from the most convenient spot for them. So good to have you in the studio with me.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for deciding. It takes strength. It takes loads of understanding to bring your story to people in a way that people can listen, learn, and be blessed from your story. And I can see you have them highlighted here, so you can be able to get straight to it. So you are a police officer?
Yes, sir.
And you've been doing that for how long?
23 years now.
Really?
Yes, sir.
23 years?
Actually joined 2001 September, 1st September.
That's going to be 24 years this year?
Yes, this year, 24 years this year.
Amazing, amazing.
You,
so God strengthened you.
Amen, sir.
Now, I'd like for you to start your story from the most convenient spot, but I want to help kick you in, if you wouldn't mind. Now, I want you to talk about your early days, your mom particularly, the events leading to what happened to her. Start from that particular day.
Okay, all right. I am the fourth child in 7 children, and happens to be the only girl. And I was loved and pampered. And on this very day, my mom wanted to go to the market to get provisions for my elder brother, actually our first son, who was to return back to school. And on that morning, she prepared. It was on a Sunday, and we were about to go to church. And I was like, Mommy, I need offering. And she said, next Sunday, I will give you an offering. So she left for that market, and she never came back because the vehicle she entered got an accident and she died. Instantly, she died. She died on that accident.
Where did this happen?
It happened in Town. And anyone that was in Jos in 1992, May 31st, will remember that accident. They call that the name of the bus, just like we call El-Rufai here. The name of the bus was Ashara bus. Nobody in Jos at that time that will not remember
Ashara bus.
Yes, Ashara bus. The bus conveys barrack people from the barrack to terminus and to Gadabil, to the town, to the city. So that was what happened.
Was she the only one that died in the bus?
No. So many people died because it was on a Sunday. So there were people that worships in the town. So we had father, mother, children dying on that bus. And my mom was with her friend, but God so kind, her friend didn't die. And she was the one that actually related what my mom was saying to my elder brother. Was like, take care of my children, especially her twins that were just 5 years plus, our last born. So she was like, take care of my children. Please don't make them suffer whatsoever that transpired to you in this life. Make sure you take care of those twins.
So it went from preparing for Sunday service, where she was just to get to the market quickly, get something for her son, to never return.
She never returned.
And they came to break this news
In fact,
You
nobody
guys-
even broke the news to us. What happened was that there was heavy rain that Sunday, and two women that were going for their tribal meeting branched to our house because of the rain. And they were like, "Where is Mama Div?" Because that's what they call her.
Mm.
So we said, and she went to Terminus, and the two of them just looked at themselves and they said, "Where is our dad?" And we said, "Our dad is inside the room because he just came back from night duty." And they said they want to see him. And they said, "Did Mama Div went to Terminus?" They said, "Yes." So they excused all of us. And probably that was when they told him that Ashara has gotten an accident and so many people had died. So that was when my dad and our first son went. So it was when they came back, long after everything, that we had the story that my dad had to know my mom's dead body through her toes because the dead bodies were heaped on a truck. So it was through my mom's toes that my dad had to know that my mom was in that accident. So it was a lot for us. I was just 13 plus and in JSS2, going to JSS3 then. So it was a lot for us. Our eldest son was just 20 and he was also in secondary school. And my mom's last babies, the twins, two boys, were just 5 years going to 6 years. So
The
it was a
person,
lot for us.
her son that she was going to get things for, hope he was able to forgive himself.
I
It was
must
not
I
too
must
much on him.
confess that till now he still hold that against himself. He still held that against himself.
It
till
wasn't
now.
his fault. So
Yes.
when the time of a man has come, the time has come.
Mm.
Now, from that day, what happened afterwards?
So after that, we kept on going to school until a time that I didn't know what happened to me. I just left home. Honestly, I can't place it. I left home, and on that very night, the first day I left home, I entered into vehicle and I wandered, towards that is just sitting.
That's after that event.
Yes, after that event. And that night, I was like, okay, the best place for me to get protection was at the police station.
Why did you leave the house?
I don't know. I can't
That's
tell.
after they broke to you that your mom died.
Yes, after we've gone for the burial and we're back. After we've buried my mom and we're back.
She died at what age?
My mom died at 36, very
God.
young. Yes, she died at 36. She died at 36. So I left home. And when I left, they were looking for me, not knowing that I was around Bukuru. Good. That's the name. I was trying to get the name. I was around Bukuru. So, and I was like, okay, let me go to the police station and sleep. And I got there and they asked me, where are you coming from? I just said some things. I can't even place it, but I knew that at night, a policeman came to me and was like, you can't sleep here, the cold.
At the station?
Yes, at the station. And there was cold indeed. And he said, let me help you. So he took me to the house and I found that his house, I found out that he was alone. And I became scared. And as we were sleeping, he tried to sleep with me. He tried to rape me. That's the word. So I struggled. He was bigger than me because I was very tiny. I was very small. So I was screaming, and it was a compound. I was screaming, and probably he was afraid that people would come, and he left me. And very early in the morning, he was like, get out from the house. I left, and I kept on wandering until one of my teachers saw me and took me, and I stayed in his house for some days. Finally, he took me back to my parents.
You never met that police officer again?
No, I never met him. I never met him again. I never met him.
So from that moment?
So from that moment, my dad had to retire because he was a combatant.
To take care of his
yes,
children.
He had to retire to take care of his children. So we had to go back to my village in Kogi State. So we went back to the village and I started school. Everything was going on fine for me until we visited my auntie, my only surviving auntie, at a village called Pada.
Why is she the only surviving auntie?
She was the only person. Because every other person had died, my mother's siblings.
Then something might be deep there.
Yes, every other person had died. She was the only surviving auntie.
And they were dying around what age?
I can't really tell because we're not in the village. were not in the village, but I knew that they were not
This
old.
auntie, she's still alive.
Yes, she's still alive.
Awesome.
Yes, she's
She
still
born
alive.
again Christian?
No, she's not. I don't know. I know she goes to church. I know
Okay.
she goes to church, yes.
So you went to visit her?
Yes. So we went to visit her, and that was where I met this guy that went to Polytechnic in Barkinladi.
How old were you then?
I was 17.
17.
Yes, I was 17. So I met with that guy, and we started talking,
Yeah.
and I got to like him because I felt that it was coming from where I'm coming. So on this day, he invited me to his room, and I won't say he forced me. He slept with me, and that was
You slept with each other?
Yes. So that was the first day I will actually have sex. That was the first day. So I don't even
You were
know.
both in love?
Yes. I developed a likeness for him. I wouldn't say I understood what was really falling in love, but I developed a likeness for him. So after that, I left the house, and the mom was watching me. She watched the blood, and that his mom seeing me that night was what will save me in years to come.
Hey.
When I told him that I was pregnant, and he denied the pregnancy, and his mom was like, "You can't deny this pregnancy." I saw Patience the day she left. I saw her the day she left, and she had blood. So you are the one that disvirgined this girl. So you can't deny this pregnancy.
How old was he then?
I can't really place, but
Was he much older than you?
Yes, he was older than me, but not. But I know that he will be more than 20 then.
Maybe like 21.
Yes, he'll be more than.
So you were
20.
both young?
Yes, we were both very, very young.
Were you in school then?
Yes, I was in SS2 and already the head girl of my school.
My God.
The acting head girl.
Acting head girl of the school.
Yes, sir. Already the acting head
So,
girl of my school.
You found out while you were in secondary school?
Yes, sir.
That you were pregnant?
That I was pregnant. And he denied the pregnancy. So it wasn't easy for me. The pregnancy wasn't easy. My dad was harsh because my dad wanted me to become a nurse so that I would take care of him at his old age. But that didn't happen, and it was pain. He was very pained. So the maltreatment started. He will ask me to fetch 2 drums of water in the house from a very deep well, and he will ask those twins, my brothers, to waste the water so that I will fetch the next day. When my dad found out that I was pregnant, because I didn't know I was pregnant, maybe he saw my breast bulging or something, and he asked me, "Am I pregnant?" I said, "No, I'm not pregnant." How will I be pregnant? So he took me to a hospital where the tests were conducted, and the doctor told me that, "Come, you are pregnant. Are you in school?" And I said, "Yes, I was in school, and I'm even the acting head girl of my school." And he said, "Come, I can abort this pregnancy for you."
Who said that?
The doctor. The doctor said that. He said, "Don't you want to continue your school?" I said, "No, I won't do that." I was afraid, not because I knew God, but because I didn't want to die. I've watched movies where girls go to do abortions and they die. Yes. So I didn't want to do. And he came back to my dad and told my dad that I was pregnant. And that was how we went back home. And my dad was not happy with me. He felt sad. And everything, the love, the pampering I had from him.
He wept?
Yes, he did. He did. Even myself, I wept when I knew that I was pregnant because I wanted to go to school. So that was what happened. Did the
pregnancy stop your schooling?
No. The pregnancy did not stop my school because when my dad didn't stop the maltreatment, I had to leave to my auntie's place where I had my child. And after having the child, I had to come back to my village. So when I got back to the village, I was like, Patience, I don't want to be like this ordinary village girl because there were so many of them. There were many of them that were pregnant, they had their children, and they stopped school and they were living the normal life.
So this is like the kind of situation you see in the village.
Yes, sir.
Young ladies, teenage pregnancy, and that's it. And before you know it, they are counting 2 children, 3 children, 4 children.
Exactly, sir.
You knew, even though you were pregnant and you were young, that you will never be anything like them.
Exactly. I knew that thing was in my mind, bulging all the time. That Patience,
that you were going to go to
like
school.
this. Yes, and sir, I forgot something. While I was pregnant, I became like the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Probably because I didn't have anyone to stand for me. I was not having a mom.
Yeah.
So there was no one to stand for me. And I remember saying a word. I said it was like maybe from pain. I didn't even take cognizance of that until after some years, I started praying again for my village. I said, for every laughter they have done for me because I'm pregnant and nobody to help me. Girls will get pregnant in this village in 13 years. Girls will get pregnant in this village in 14 years. And it happened. And when it started happening, I felt bad. And I started praying again that God, please.
You felt it was your curse that was responsible for that.
Yes.
Why didn't you think it's the societal culture?
I didn't even thought of that. I just felt that it was what
Do you
I
still
said.
feel it was what you said now?
With what I know now, I don't feel that.
Because the guilt might be quite much for you to bear.
Yes. With what I know now, at least I've listened to Church Hut and so Gilead and so many messages. So with what I know now, I don't feel that. So I came back, and that not was much, but my dad was like, he severed every relationship with me. So there was nobody to tell I want to go to school. How do I get the money to go back to school? So I devised a means. I went to the filling station in my village. I'll collect kerosene, collect fuel, sell. And that helped me. But that was not enough. I started frying gari. I'll go to the farm. I'll talk to the farm owner. Please, I need cassava. I don't have money. When I'm done, I'll pay. So they'll give me a little portion. I'll do that. And I didn't have the luxury of asking somebody to dig cassava for me. So I'll go to dig by myself. I'll pack for myself, and I'll peel for myself, and I'll grind and jack it.
Now, because I understand the process of cassava plantation, the cutting, the grinding, the pressing to demoisturize it, you were doing all this by yourself?
All by myself, sir.
To sell?
Yes, sir. All by myself.
What were you going to do with the money?
So that I'll go back to school, so that I'll pay my school fees and how to do other things and to take care of my daughter. Because we severed relationship. My dad had gotten married then. So it wasn't easy. The father denied the pregnancy, even though the mother stood by me. That
till date?
Yes. The mother is also late. The mother is late.
Did he ever at any point return to accept?
No, he never accepted. But the elder brother did accept.
Do you know him? Do you still know him?
Yes, I know him. He also lives in Abuja here.
Does he see his daughter?
Yes, he sees. Just yesterday, she went, New Year Day, right? On 1st, she went there. Has
he accepted her now as his daughter?
Of course, yes, he has.
Do they look alike?
Yes. They do. They do, even though she looks more like my mom and myself.
Have you forgiven him?
Yes, I have. I have forgiven. I have.
What did it take you to forgive him?
Wow. It took me a lot. Because the first pregnancy didn't just stop there. When I couldn't go on with the maltreatment of my stepmom, after having that baby, I was working somewhere. I was paid 2,000 naira.
Yeah.
But I found out that it wasn't enough for I and my siblings, the younger ones, because the one in front of me were all in school, in boarding schools.
Yes.
So not in boarding school now, they were in universities because they've done.
Yeah.
Yes. So my stepmom, we had to cook 2 pots of food, one for her and my younger ones, and the other for she and my dad.
I suppose the richer one for sure.
Yes, sir. So I had this, that same thing that pushed me to school was still coming back. Patience, you can't stay in this village. You have to look for something. So I had to come to Abuja. I came to Abuja 99. And I came to a family friend when we were in Jos. They were a family friend to us. His elder sister was married to a major, and she was my personal nurse who took care of me. So I had to go to his place. I was staying with him. But after some days, he started sleeping with me. He started molesting me.
Who is that?
That family friend that I came to Abuja to stay with. Yes. Because I ran away from home because I felt this maltreatment, let me go. I am made for more. I'll have something better where I'm going to. So he started sleeping with me, and I had no choice. I had no choice because I didn't want to go back home.
You had no choice than to cooperate with him.
Yes. So I wanted to look
Was he
for
married?
something. No, I think no. Then he had not gotten married yet, but now he's married with kids. So I was looking for work. I was going to schools. I was going to anywhere, cleaner. I had not gotten job yet. So at that time, I said, okay, since this man is sleeping with me, his elder brother is somewhere around Niger State, very close. That is the boundary of Abuja. So let me go. He's married. So let me go to them. I know I will have safety there. So when I got there, I saw that I didn't have safety there also. Any opportunity he have, even if the wife sends me to get something, even if it is in the next room, any opportunity he has, he will touch my breast. Any opportunity he has, he will just touch me. He will just drag me and hold me and kiss me. Say, how you're a beautiful girl. I love you. I like you. I'll push him. So every opportunity, I was molested in that house. And I was like, God.
The fellow molesting you, was he aware that you had a child?
Yes, he knew it. He knew it. I was with the child there.
Your child was with you in the house?
Yes, the child was with me there. The child was with me at the house. So every opportunity he has, if the wife goes to school or go to her working place, he will molest me.
Why didn't you leave?
So I didn't want to go back home because I felt home was not better for me. Let me just stay and look for something I would do.
Did you tell the wife?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Is she? Where is she?
The husband is late, but the wife is alive.
The man is late.
Yes, the man is late. And my elder brother dragged me to, because we are family friends. We are more like bloodly related because we stayed for a long time. We went for the burial and I was crying profusely in that burial. And people felt that I was crying for the dead, but I was crying for the pain that I never came to reconcile, to say, I forgive you or something.
Wow.
I was crying for that. And even up to an extent, because even at that time that those things were happening, I just felt that I was at fault. Why will I go to this place? I'll be molested. And I go to the next place, I am molested. I don't have peace in my home. So I just felt that, maybe something is following you, or maybe you are not doing. Yes, maybe something is wrong with me. So I never took it as if it was their fault. So that was how I left his place to my auntie's place in Abuja. And when I was at my auntie's place, my cousin rather, but because she's much more older than me, we call her auntie. I found out that when people come from her working place, they will also want to touch me. And so it was, I got to understand that it's like she was collecting something from them in exchange for them to come and have free, because she had never stopped anybody from touching me or something.
Were they doing that in her presence?
Yes, they do at her presence. So I had to run again from there when I found out that the elder brother of the person that pregnanted me was in Abuja. So I found my place my way to his place. Yes. So I got to his place, and he's such a nice man. He's such a good person. So he helped me. I was with their baby, with my child. So he really protected me. He helped me. And he too, then, he was at the verge of a breakdown. He lost his business to scammers, but he was going to dig foundation for 400 naira per meters, and he will come. Whatsoever he made for that day, he will give to me, and I will go make food and we'll eat. And that was when his brother came. And that was why I went through all this story, so that I will go back.
Yes.
Because you asked a question that, as at what point did I forgive his brother?
Yes.
A lot happened after the first pregnancy that I had. So that was when his brother came and started professing love for me again.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
He came and started professing love. He liked me. He loved me. Now that I'm with his brother, we can make amends, and we started sleeping with each other again. And then because people who don't even profess love for me has slept with me, I felt that this one already have his child, and he's even telling me that he loves me. So why not? So I got pregnant for the second time.
Again? Yes. For him?
I got pregnant for him. But when he came back from school, because he was still in school in Bukuru in Jos, So when he came
He
back
was in
from
school the first time.
yes,
Still in school the second time.
yes, he was still in school. So I think then he went back for his HND.
Okay.
Yes, he went back for his HND. So when he came back this time, and I told him I was pregnant, he said, over his dead body, that I will suffer if I don't abort this pregnancy. I am going to suffer.
He denied it again.
He denied it again. So his brother said, I should not mind him. He is going to my village. So it happens that one of my auntie is married to somebody that is related to them
Yes.
in my village.
Yes.
So the elder brother now called that woman and said, Patience is pregnant too, and we are coming to do the things. So he called me aside. He said he has heard his brother calling the village that we are coming to do things. You will suffer if you don't come and follow me. So I followed him. And we went and we aborted the pregnancy.
You did?
Yes, I did. So we came back. When we came back, the brother now, I told the brother, I said, that pregnancy I've aborted it. The brother was angry. He said, why did you abort it? I said, but it's not you I'm going to get married to. It's your brother. And he has said, I was going to suffer. So.
Did he promise you that if you abort it, both of you, the relation between both of you can work?
No. He never promised me that. He just said, if I keep the pregnancy,
you will really suffer.
That I will really suffer. So that was just what he told me, and I followed him and aborted the pregnancy. So fast forward to where I came back, and I was not that happy to stay there again because the relationship with the elder brother was somehow was somehow now, yes. So there was somebody in my village that already lives in Abuja. He has a house in Abuja, but he was living in the village. So when he heard that I was in Abuja, he was like, okay, I will help him to be supervising the house he's building. So I relocated to that place. So I was helping him to check the house. So I was like, okay, I can't stay like this. Okay, it was when I came to that village, I saw that there was a Friday market.
Yeah.
So I went to that market and I saw that there was no gari, fish. So it was that man that gave me money. I started going to my village to bring gari and fish to sell in that market. So I was selling gari and fish in that market before. I had a very small radio where I hear news. So I heard on that radio that the Nigerian police wanted to recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the year 2000. So I dusted my secondary school certificate.
Yep.
Yes, and I
applied.
And I applied. I went in person because we were supposed to go in person at the command headquarters in Abuja. So I joined the line. I was very tiny. I was small. And at the end of the day, 2001, the results came out. So even when the results came out, I was at the market. I never knew that the results came out in August. So the people left in August. And that is why.
You found out in what month?
I found out in September. No, I found out late August. They had already gone.
My God.
Yes, they had already gone. And that is why anytime I look to my life, I know that I'm a product of God's mercy.
Mercy.
I can't but understand that it's God's mercy that has kept me and brought me this far. So there's a guy that we wrote that exam together. So he ran to the market and said, I went to the command, your name is out, and August had gone. But as God will have it, there was a lady that a policeman was visiting in my compound. So that man now helped me, and I joined September intake. So that was how I joined. I got into the police force. So I went into the police force, and I came out, and I was sent back to my state. I was sent back to my state.
But not your village?
No, not my village. Not my village. Somewhere very far away from my village. So that same man that helped me said, no, I can't work in Kogi. So he now effected my transfer, helped me back to Abuja. Yes. And actually, my first point of call is Lugbe Division here.
Wow.
Yes, that I worked. So I was placed at the traffic division, and that same man came to meet my DP and said, no, this girl, she's very intelligent. You can't put her at the traffic division. So I was posted to the crime branch. That was where I started my job, and it has been all messy.
Are you still at the crime branch?
No, I'm not.
Move scaled different.
I've scaled different branches like that.
You got married?
Yes, before I got married, I I got into a relationship while I was still in training to a
Police
man.
training.
Yes, while I was still in police training.
Fellow police officer.
No, not a fellow police officer. I was going to my village and he gave me a lift. And when he asked, yes, where was I from? I said I was from police college. And he said, he's this conventional police of those days. So, and when I told him I was going to see my daughter in the village, so he got interested because he's been married for some times without children. But later I got to understand that he had children from another woman before he got married.
To his wife?
Yes, to the wife, and I stayed for 14 years without a child. So he got interested in me and we started a relationship.
As a married man?
Yes, we started a relationship.
Were you aware he was married?
I was aware. He told me he didn't have a child after 14 years of marriage. So we started that relationship, and that relationship went for some times. And when I will introduce him to my dad said, over his dead body, I can't get married to a married man.
Married man.
And that I should put my shoes in the wife's leg.
How would you feel?
That, yes, that she has been married and she doesn't have a child. So how will I feel? So that was how we severed that relationship. Then, before we severed the relationship, I was at my station. We went to open a new station, and still in Abuja, I got to meet a man. There was my tribal man, a very handsome man, came to do something at the police station. And when he saw my name, Patience Iyako, and he said, "What tribe I am?" I said, "I'm a Gbagi lady." And he said, "Wow, he's interested in me." So we started a relationship again. So that one immediately promised me marriage. Immediately, he promised me marriage there and then. So I was like, Okpeo, thank God, at least I've gotten somebody to get married. And why I was even eager to get married was that my elder brother, who is our first son, was like, "Pat, now that you have joined the police, there is this history that police women don't get married. You are a single mother and you are a police officer. So please be fast and get married." So, but something took my attention. I saw the ring finger of that man has a mark. So I told him, I said, "It's like you are married." Yes. I said, "It's like you are married." He swore to God that he's not married. This, that, and that. Say he's not married. And I said, "It's like you are married." He said he's not. So I started that awareness got me. So I started doing my investigation. So one day, he has taken me to his house severally. One day I just went to the house without him knowing. And the first day I got to that house, the arrangement of the house made me understood that there is a woman in this house, because the house was so arranged. It was too good to be a bachelor's house.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
So there's a way bachelors are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know some of them. I'll tag them here.
So on this day, I just went to the house and I saw a woman in the house. And I greeted her and I said, "I'm looking for so person. I don't want to mention his name." So she said, "That's my husband." And my mind did boom. I said, "Okay." And the kind of person I am. Remember, I forgot to put all this things I'm passing through, I was a church person.
All true.
All true. I have never left the church because that is what I grew up knowing. I have never left the church. So because of that thing in me, I just told her, I said, "Your husband is befriending me." And he told me that he's not married. Immediately I told her. I said, "Please, I am sorry. I'll never come to your house again."
You were a police officer even at that time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hope she didn't pounce on you.
No, she didn't.
Man, she's dealing with an officer.
She did. So she didn't. So I left. And he came to the house. He has been calling. I'm not picking. And he just came to the house. And he said, "Patient, get ready. We are going to somewhere." I said, "Where are you taking me to?" I said, "I'm not doing again." So he said, "No, don't just worry. Let's just go somewhere." So we went. I followed him with his car. Yes, with his car. So we went to Abuja Teaching Hospital. Then it was called Specialist, not University Teaching Hospital. So we went to Specialist and he just took me to a lab. That was where my blood was taken. I was asking him for what. He said, don't worry, just calm down." So they took the sample of my blood and it just came back. When it came back, he said, "Patience, you are HIV positive." And I was like, "No, it can't be. Why? I'm okay." I just felt in me that, because I say I know they do again. So that is why. So we left. And he never came to my house again. And that thing never occurred to me that, is this reality? sir, it took me time for me to come to awareness of my life. All these things that were happening, I was not like aware. So that passed. So as a police officer, I was posted for 2003 election. That is the Obasanjo election.
Yeah.
So the village I was living, I was attending Deeper Life because the churches, I was not getting what I want. The churches there were not giving me what I wanted. So at least I wanted where I would get the word of God. So I was going to Deeper Life. And there was a brother in my compound that finally became my husband that was also going to Deeper Life. But when I was there, before I joined the police, we don't have any relationship with him. The relationship we had was the church relationship. He himself was doing bricklaying or something like that, molding blocks then. So none of us were working when we were going to Deeper Life. So when they posted me to that village, I saw the guy. He was going to work. Then he had already become a uniform personnel too, but not the police. So he had become a uniform personnel too. So he saw me, said, Sister Pat, how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, Anna, wow, are you married now? I said, no, I'm not married. He said, give me your contact. So I gave him my contact. So when I gave him my contact, we started talking. No, then I don't even have a phone. I don't have a phone. So he said, where are you living? I told him where I was living.
Yeah.
Yes, I told him where I was living, and we're writing letters. There's a brother that was coming to church in Lugbe. So he will write letter, he will give to the brother to give to me. So I will write out. So that was how we continued until in 2004. So he said it was high time for him to take me to his people so that they will know me.
Take to the next level.
Yes, so that they will know me. So I said, okay. So we went to his place. He's from Ibadan. So we went to his place. So when we got to his place, I was welcomed. The hospitality was nice. Everything was okay. Until the day I wanted to leave, because I was to leave before him, because I was to do chief bridesmaid for one of my friends in Jos. So on that morning, I was served breakfast and he was seated. I was here. His elder brother that happens to be a pastor and has a church in Ibadan was also there. So he came around and he said, I heard you are married. I said, no, sir, I'm not married, but I have a daughter. He said, okay. But he wants to tell me that I cannot marry his brother. That we should go to Abuja and sever this relationship.
Who was saying that?
That's the elder brother, the step elder brother, because my husband happened to be the first son in his own mom, and his mom was the second wife. So I could not even dip my bread in the tea again. When he said that, I froze. So he said, and in case I want to go on with it, there are 2 people in his church he has told this, and they went ahead, and life has been miserable with them. So if I go ahead, life will be miserable for me. So I left there with tears, and right in the vehicle until I got to Abuja, I was crying.
How about the person you were with? What did he say?
He did not say anything. It was his father brother. I'm sorry to say, no Yoruba people with respect. So he could not say anything. But as we left, he assured me, he said, don't worry.
Everything will work out.
Yes, everything will work out. The mom loved me anyway because he had stayed for like 9 years without coming home. So I was the one that was bringing him home. So the mom was very happy to see me, and she supported. So he was like, if my mom had supported my sisters, my siblings, who is my step. So that was how I came. And after the wedding, he came back and he came to the house. He came to my house in Lugbe. So on the verge of him telling me not to bother, I started crying. So he started petting me. Don't worry, it will work. From that petting, I don't know what happened. We slept with each other.
Wait.
And
you slept with each other?
Yes, sir.
Were you didn't say anything again about the HIV case?
No. I don't believe that thing. I did not believe it. I did not believe it. So we slept with each other, and
let me ask you a direct question.
Okay, sir.
Did you ever find out you were HIV positive?
Yes, I did. We'll get there. So that thing that happened, I got pregnant.
This, both of you, this
Yes.
person.
Yes, I got pregnant. And then I was already in a church, established in a Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
And I was in the choir already.
Ah.
Yes. So I was like, me, I will not have another child though. I must abort this pregnancy so that I will do wedding. No. Me, I will not. So he was like, no. That is the man now. He was like, no. So he told me that he was going to tell my elder brother because the person I was fooling was in Abuja then. So on this day, I was in church. I was in service in church. And the pastor, he's now a bishop anyway. So the bishop had finished preaching. And as he was going to his seat, he came back. And he said, there's somebody here. There were two prophecies because it was during December. He said, there's somebody here. He said the first prophecy and the second one, he said, you are pregnant, you are a lady, and you want to go and abort it. If you do that, you will die. And the seat I was sitting on, it was as if the ground should open for me to enter. And I ran to my very close friend who was like my spiritual guide then. So I ran to her and I told her, I said, Mama, this thing that pastor said, I'm the one. She now said, glory to God. I should go and meet him quickly. I said, I will not go. I'm not going. So she said, no, people will not know. Just go and stand on the queue now. Shebi is two prophecies. So just go. People are even going line up to go and see him. So I was on the queue. So I got there and I said, sir, this is me. So Bishop was like, Pat, you have committed sin and you want to go and commit a bigger sin. Oh yeah, what about the guy? Is he interested? I said, yes, he's interested. So yeah, go to the village and do the needful. So that was how we called my people, his people, everything. March 2005. I did normally you have to do the police marriage. So I went, I did the police marriage, everything we did together with him. And 2005, we went to do the introduction. But the dowry was not collected because in my culture, the Gbagi culture, once you are pregnant, they can't collect dowry. So they did not collect dowry from him. So that was how we did the introduction. And that very day, we came back to Abuja and I started staying with him. Excuse me. So at 7 months of that pregnancy, I lost the pregnancy. Yes, I lost that pregnancy. I lost that pregnancy at 7 months. So it was a tough one because I will have to be evacuated.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was very painful, even though it wasn't a new thing for me, but the abortions that I made was very young abortion, but this one now is something
real evacuation.
Yes, real evacuation. So I did the evacuation and I still came back to stay with him. But each time I raised the issue of him going to pay my dowry, he will waive it away. He will waive it away. So 2005, 2006, then was the awareness of HIV, then what is it called? Awareness, jingles on radio and TV and television.
Yeah.
And one day he just said, this one that we did not even do all these tests before getting married. Let's go and do this test now. So I obliged. Sir, I will tell you that I did not even remember that
particular
first
word.
because I didn't even put it at heart that something like that happened. So when we went, we were cancelled. This time it was more of a ART and this thing. So we were cancelled and everything.
As antiretroviral.
Yes, shop like that in the hospital. So we did heart to heart. In those days, they called it heart to heart. So we did the counseling and everything. And my result was given to me alone and his was given to me alone. And the thing, what the counselor will always tell you is that it is left for you if you are willing to tell your spouse or not. And I was told that so many spouses don't tell each other and they go home to live like that. So, but in my case, I said, I can't keep it because that very day, the man will know because I will not get myself. So I told the woman that I'm willing to tell him that I am positive.
The result came out positive?
Yes, the result came out positive. So they called both of us. I told him, I said, I'm positive. And he said he was negative. I said, thank God, I have a child. So please, let's just sever the marriage here. go your own. Because the education I have then when HIV is coming is that once you are positive, you can't have children. The next thing is for you to die, all these things. So I was just like, okay, I have a child. Please go your own. But he now told the counselor, he said, no, marriage is for better and for worse, that he cannot leave me. We should go home. So that was how we went back home. I cried, I wept. I said, God, I was asking so many
As at
questions.
then, you were already married with him?
Yes, I was already married with him. So we went and I registered for drugs and everything, and I started taking drugs. So fast forward again, the marriage was not that stable because he was not coming forth in his responsibility as the father of the house. So I was the one struggling to make ends meet in the house. Most time when I collect my salary, I bring on the table, I tell him this is my salary, this. So life wasn't easy anyway. So what now happened? So in 2013 now? In 2013 now. Yeah, so there was a time I found out that my daughter, I married him with my daughter now, the one I had. So I found out that anytime I bathe her, I see blood in her private part. Hey. So I was worried. So when I told him, he said, it's bilharzia, this river that we have in our community, that it must be from that river. Yes, to be an infection. So to cut the long story short, there was a day my daughter now told me that it was a guy where I normally buy CD plates. It was a guy that fingered her. So I was now like, why is it that I didn't see it when we were in Lube or up until now? It's after how many 2-3 years that I'm seeing this. So I went to arrest the guy. And I took him to my station. And, there was no evidence because time had elapsed. Time had gone, yes. Yep. So he was released and I was angry that the police left him. Sir, after that, I left my job. I left the police. I stopped going to work. You were offended? Yes, I was offended. I stopped going to work.
But that's the way the Nigerian police system works.
So I stopped going to work. In her own case, there wasn't even any evidence. There wasn't even evidence because that girl was small and it was my husband that was putting words in her mouth. And a child can't lie. It is what the person is told. So they will ask her question, and when it gets to a place that what he has not told her, she cannot say anything. And it was very obvious that somebody was feeding her with words.
Are you saying that there was a foul play, that it was not just that guy that was touching her?
It wasn't the guy. It wasn't even the guy at all. It was my husband that was sleeping with her. I'll get there. Yes, sir. So, we did everything possible and I left my job. And to some certain extent, I saw that my husband was very happy that I left my job because he never for one day asked me to go back. He never even asked me that, why are you not going to work? Else, it was other of my colleagues that were calling me, Pat, come back to this job. You will need this job. You will need this job. So I was at home. So I started.
Let me ask a question so we can get clearer perspective.
Okay, sir.
Conjugal activity between you and your husband was still on?
Yes, it was still on.
You were on ARVs?
Yes, I was on ARV.
To step down the viral load?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that the conjugal activity in both of you was unprotected?
No, it was protected initially. And to make things clear, my viral load was high.
Yes.
My viral load was high because I wasn't sick. Nothing was wrong with me. It was high, but it was because of that pregnancy now.
Yes.
For the pregnancy not to suppress me,
yes.
So I had to be placed on ARV.
On ARVs.
Yes, I had to be placed on ARV. So those things happened, and I started business because there's something about me. I grew up in a home. My mom was a business person. She was working anyway, but after she had the twins, my dad had to stop her. And so anytime I have space, the next thing I think is the kind of business I would do.
I'm here with just one question on my mind.
Yes, sir.
What kind of woman am I interviewing? You have described things that each of these things you have described is enough to get someone to quit about life.
Let's see.
And here you are describing it with so much strength, like it's nothing. How did you? Because I mean, my heart is beating fast, and I'm like, my God, is this a joke or what? You saw that with your daughter. Where did that leave you? How did you find out he was touching her?
Okay. Where I came to find out was when I eventually went back to my work. I eventually went back to the Nigerian police.
Yeah.
Let me beat that details.
The process,
yes. I eventually went back to work. I went back to work, and before I went back to work, my daughter was to go to SS1, and I wanted her to go to day school, but he insisted that she should go to boarding.
Are you saying he was touching her while she was in secondary school?
Yes, sir. He started touching her even before I had his first child in 2007. So I had her in 96, and he started touching her in 2007 when she was 11 years old. Even before I had his first daughter, I will come to know later when same house. And I was suspecting it. And I told my elder brother was like, this man that married you with a child and he's loving you, you are suspecting him that he's getting close to your child. So what will I do? So I just left it at that. Because their closeness was too much. And even when she was to go to SS1, I said, no, let her be in day school because I would like to watch her. He said no. And I came to understand years after that was when he now made his ways right with God, and he wanted her to be away for some time. That was why he was saying that she should go.
He repented?
That was what he told me then. So it was when I went back to the force, I was transferred to Kogi State. I was transferred first to Delta, and I did my transfer to Kogi State so that I'll be close to the children. So it was then that one day my daughter called me. She has been calling me anyway, that there's a guy that is very close to her. I think they finished secondary school together. No, they were in secondary school because then she had not finished. So this guy is close to her. I think he was scared that she was going to tell to that guy. So he doesn't want to see her with that guy. So
he reported her?
Yes.
Knowing fully well that she might tell the guy?
Yes. So he always reports her to me. And even herself, she'll say, anytime she's close to this guy, that the father is doing this, is doing that. So one day, he now told me that it's like the guy is sleeping with her. So there was this awareness in me that just came up. Because I was suspecting this even before then. I just called her. I called her by name. I said, you are my daughter, and I am the one that raised you up. Is this man sleeping with you? I said, if you don't tell me, I will curse you. She started crying. She started crying. She said, yes, mommy. But he said I should not tell anybody. She started, I said, God, I'm finished. So what happened to me is now turning to happen to my daughter.
Let's get this perspective right. Your husband, that people are saying he is a loving man because he married you with your daughter.
Yes, sir.
That's the perspective out there.
Yes, sir.
Now, your daughter is confessing to you.
Yes, sir.
That he's been sleeping with her.
Yes, sir.
As at the time you found out, he's been doing that for how many years?
I found out in, was it 2013 now? And he has been doing that since 2007.
6 years.
Yes, sir. And sir, for you to know how I honor and reverence him, in 2006, I wrote a book, The Journey So Far. That is, the book was all about our journey on how I found out that I was HIV positive. But when I found out this thing, I could not publish the book again. But the manuscript of the book is still there. I wrote a book, and even the people in my clinic, the people I could confide in, that this was what was happening.
What year did you find out you were HIV positive?
2006. I got married 2005. It was 2006 I found out. I think in March or so. In March 2006. So in 2016, 10 years, I wrote a book celebrating my 10 years as as a discordant couple because he was negative and I had negative children. So celebrating.
So meaning that the second child, the child you had for him, was after you found out,
I have 3 children for him.
and none of them are positive.
Yes, none of them are positive. So
I know many people don't know that that's medically possible because the awareness about HIV is not that strong like before. You know, when you found out that, where did that leave you? The marriage with himself and all that.
Well, I was devastated. I cried myself out that day. And immediately I called my daughter. I think I sent her to a friend to get money for them to start coming to Lokoja with the 3 children. I cried, and because then I'd already gotten the last child, and even the last child, I was not so sure if the last child was his child. Let me explain that. Because it was that man I first befriended that has a child. He was the one that helped me go back to my job. And then when he was doing that, we were seeing ourselves.
So meaning that there was a case of infidelity on your
Yes,
part.
sir. So
Did you tell him?
yes, I finally told him because I was this kind of person that I can't keep things in my mind for so long. So I found that it was devastating, and they came. I held my daughter, I wept. I saw myself as somebody that has failed.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I could not protect her. It was difficult for me. Then I was living in my father's house in my village because I was working with the state CID.
Were you able to later confirm the paternity of the child?
No, till now we've not. I was working in state CID then in Lokoja, but after the child, I now did transfer to my village so that I could win the child very well. So even the people in my father's compound were coming to knock because they were hearing my sob, the way I was crying. And my children came and we stayed. We stayed there. I went, I packed my things from his house because I was like, this was the end of the marriage. So in his family, I have somebody very close to me who happens to be his younger brother. So I called him and I told him, I said, this is what has happened. He happens to be the youth leader of a church in Ibadan.
Who is the youth leader?
That is his younger brother.
Yes.
But for my husband, even I didn't mention that he was the one that normally do, what is it called now, when a pastor preach and they interpret for a very big pastor in Abuja in those days. A very big pastor who is still a big pastor till now. So he's the one that normally does interpretation.
Was interpreting in what language?
In Yoruba. Interprets in Yoruba.
Your husband is a Yoruba man?
Yes, sir. So we stayed, and I just started a fresh life again without a husband. I started a fresh life.
You left the marriage?
Yes, I left the marriage.
You took your children?
I took my children.
All of them?
All of them. And before I left, I called him that same evening. No, he was the one that called.
Are you not afraid that you are putting your status out there?
I'm not. In 2011, I was in U.S. Embassy. I was the one that spoke in U.S. Embassy.
Do you have a platform for awareness about this, where you strengthen those who are positive?
I don't have a platform per se, because right now I am jumping protocols. So though I will even get there, I stopped taking my medication since last 2 years. So by July this year, it will be 2 years.
You seem to be asymptomatic, that you don't manifest symptoms?
No, I just got to a place that I say, God, if you are God, I will not take these drugs again. You have healed so many persons in the Bible. And if you are really God, if you have healed those persons, it means that I can be healed.
But God gave the wisdom for medicine.
Yes, I know. I know that God gave wisdom for medicine.
Is this something you want to look into?
I know that God gave. I have.
Do you have a word from God about stopping your drugs?
I don't
Because
think I really.
faith begins with a word.
I don't think I really
Or you are
have.
tired
There was a time I was tired and I went back.
of the ARVs.
Yes, but
They have
this
side
time,
effects.
yes, it does. It does. It does. But this time, I just believe that as a child of God, I can
Yeah,
heal.
enough is enough.
Yes, I just believe. So, as at that time, that person that was in his family that I love so much, I told him, and he prayed with me, and he told me that I can forgive him and go back.
Hmm.
So, but I was not seeing that. Then I was in a redeemed church in Lokoja then, and my pastor, I told him parts of
Of the
what,
event.
yes, of what was happening to me, and he always pray with me. So in 2014, that my very personal person died.
Ah.
Yes, he died. He died of kidney issues. So when he died, I was like, even though many people has been calling me, even when we are away, people were calling me, there's a lady in the house, so wouldn't I come? Because that issue was no issue I could tell everybody.
Yeah.
So, are you not coming? Somebody is at home. I said, don't worry. So I finally say, okay, since this person had died and this person had wished that I should go back to his brother, I went back on my own accord.
Hmm.
So I went back to his brother. I said, I forgive you for what you have done for me. I forgive you. So that was how we came back. I did transfer back to Abuja again. And while I was in Lokoja, I entered into another relationship. That was when I started drinking because I was tired with life. I was like,
Yeah.
there is, what am I even serving God? There is nothing to continue again. But you know, even this thing, it was in that 2014 that we did 100-day fasting. And I did that fasting. And I was just tired with life. I started living, I was drinking, I would go to bar and drink and all sorts like that. And I came back to him. When I came back to him, I said, I forgive you because I know God. I don't want to keep doing what I'm doing. Please, can we make this marriage work? And he accepted. And for the kind of person I am, I now opened up to him. I said I was in a relationship, this, thinking that he too will now open up to me, but he never did. So we came back with the children outside. And one day, I was at the kitchen cooking. I had this thing in me that whenever some things will just come. Something will just come. When something is biting me, if you check it, it is real. So I'm just seeing a pregnant lady, always a pregnant lady, and something is telling me I should ask my husband if he pregnanted anybody. And I left the cooking. I went to the parlor. I said, dear, something is in my mind. And he knows me. He knows me that if I say something is in my mind, it don't happen. I said, did you pregnant any lady? He sat up. He said, he was just confused. He said, yes. I said, where is the lady? He said, in his office. That the lady is waiting. The lady has even left. This. She's selling card. She's don't even know where to be found. I lied down there. I stopped the cooking. I cried. I said, God, why me again? Why must it always be that there is a new thing after I'm finishing one season of, okay, maybe I'm entering into a new season? Because even if you go back to my Facebook in that 2014, you will see divine settlement that I posted. Divine settlement. So this one was another thing again. I started crying. I said, okay, I forgive you. That was in 2014 to 2015. So we're like a family. But that thing could not leave me. Whenever we have sex with him, even if he had left, I will lie down on the bed and I'll be crying because my daughter that he has molested is still in the same house with us. So that was where I got ulcer. Because the pain was too much. After he had gone, I will cover my head with pillow. I will cry. I will say, God, have mercy on me. Father, have mercy on me. So that was how we continued. That was how we continued until I wanted to celebrate my 40th birthday because my mom died at 36 and I was already 40. And I was like, it's time to thank God. So I went to an orphanage. I said, I want to come and celebrate my birthday, and they obliged me. So I went there. Then I was doing network marketing, and it was on food. So I had a lot of foodstuffs, granola oil. I went there, and I went with materials. I taught the orphanage how to make soap, Dettol, many things. I taught them and I gifted them those things. But at the arrangement, at the preparation of that birthday, remember he has been transferred. All this while he has been transferred. He wasn't in Abuja. He was even transferred outside Abuja to the east. I was the one that walked there. I said, I've come for us to work marriage. Now you have been transferred to the east. So I went to his headquarters, did the transfer, but he could not come back to Abuja. He was taken to Nasarawa, just the boundary between Abuja and Nasarawa. So we are preparing this thing. My daughter, everybody was preparing this thing. And I called him. Before that time, he stopped coming home. I told my pastor. Then we were redeeming the place we are going to. And when I came back, let me go back to when I came back from Lokoja, we were supposed to continue in the redeem we were. But because he had pregnanted a lady there, he was not comfortable with me going to that place because he knew somehow I would know. So there was this family friend of mine that has served Pastor Nature for like 19 years, and he was opening his own ministry. And he called me. We grew up together in Jos, and he was like, we should come and celebrate with them. And when we went there, my husband just said, he liked this church. And I was surprised because he's somebody that doesn't like a church where they don't cover hair, where they wear trousers. I was like, what now happened that you want this church?
What changed?
So what changed? So, but as the respectable wife now, we started going there. So from Airport Road, go to Area 1. And he was in where he was working. So I'll be the one to pay transport and do everything. So he was not feeling the pains of. So we continued until that birthday. He never came home. That my pastor said, okay, since he's not coming home, you, Papa, be going to meet him now. So I will go there. I will stay the weekend. As husband and wife, I want to come back, praying that maybe he will count money and say, okay, you should take for feeding, nothing. And I call my pastor, I will say, look, if it is only for sex, I'm going there. I will not go again. Because I want him to be taking care of the house, and he's no longer coming again. And before that time, before my birthday, what is it called now? Mountain of Fire were doing their fasting. I have a friend. She now said I should join the fasting because I told her the things I was going through. 70 days fasting. On the 30th day of that fasting, I was in my office. I lied down. And it was like a trance. My husband came and he was flogging me seriously. And I ran out of the room and another woman joined him in beating me. And I woke up and I called the woman. I said, this is what has happened. And she said, this is not a good thing. No. So she connected me with the pastor. And the pastor gave me some prayers to make. And as I was praying those prayers, if he comes around, the day he managed to come from where he's working, I'll say, dear, let's pray now. It's good for us to pray as a family. So I will pray. So that was how we finished that birthday. He didn't come for my 40th birthday. My brothers were there because I have like 3 of my brothers in Abuja, and my church members were there. My business people were there. My pastor could not come on that day because he has been seeking audience with Bishop Abioye, and that was the day they gave him the audience, so he could not come. But there was a pastor in my business that came. So we posted pictures on Facebook only for him to go and meet my pastor and said, that men came, this. He was gaslighting me, and all in the name that I am positive, he's negative, and he has agreed to stay with me. So that was how my pastor now called us. Said, Mr. So, why didn't you come for your wife's birthday? You are even the one that is supposed to arrange this birthday. You are supposed to be the one that will plan it. I was in Jos when her mom died, and she's 40. He said, this is a big thing for her. So he was bringing so many things.
Excuses.
So I now told the pastor, I said, all this thing is bring, it doesn't hold water. He has a child with a woman. Sir, I have not told you. The pastor was shocked. He now asked him, is it true?
He didn't tell the pastor.
He didn't.
Wow.
They now asked him, is it true? He said, yes, it was true. They say, with who? He now told my pastor that he cannot tell my pastor that till after 2 weeks, my pastor should give him 2 weeks. So we left. Next Sunday, the upper Sunday, we were in church. After church, my pastor called us. So the church is in a building, in the second floor of the building. So he called us and he was like, okay, mister, the floor is yours. Who? Now mention the name. When he mentioned the name, I ran.
Even you didn't know who before?
I didn't know who. He just told me that a lady, and I just forgave. I've already come now.
So who is the lady?
The lady was my next door neighbor, in whom we're singing in the same choir. We're singing in the same choir. And she was like a daughter to me. This is a lady that if I want to go out, I'll say, these are my children, please take care of them, I'm coming. If she too want to go out, she say, mommy, please, I'm going to town, I don't have transport. I'll give her transport.
Your eyes have seen.
So when he called the name, like this office now, I ran out, ran from this. In fact, I was thinking if maybe I should go to the balcony, but I had already made up my mind even before that time that I will not commit suicide. Because one thing Bishop keeps saying when I was in his church was that suicide is a permanent decision to a temporal problem.
Yeah.
So I had gotten that. So when I wanted to go to the balcony, I remember that word. I went down the staircase and I sat down and I put my hand on the hair. And the pastor's wife ran and followed me. She said, did you know the person? Who is the person? I said, yes, I know the person. I said, she's my next door neighbor. She's like a daughter. In fact, she's my daughter. The pastor's wife now held me.
The lady was how old as that then?
I don't know her age.
She be in her 20s?
Yes, she was in she was attending she was doing a program in a school, doing an NCE program. So she should be maybe 20-something sharp. So I screamed, I cried in the church. I told the pastor, I said, this is over. I can't take it again. I can't keep recycling my life. As much as I try to see that I have come out from a season, the one that is bigger than the one I left will come.
Was that how you ended it?
Yes.
What year was this?
This was in 2018 now. I got to, because my 40th birthday was in 2018. So we went back to the house and he was begging that I should forgive. I said, I can't forgive. This one. In fact, I got depressed. And it got to the extent that when I get to the office, there was a very day, I can't forget that day. People had gone out for lunch. I was only the one at the office. I took my Android phone and I smashed it on the wall. And I picked it again. I smashed it on the wall. And I picked the phone and I saw that the phone had scattered. And I heard a voice, Patience, do you want to die young and leave your children to suffer the way your mom died? I started crying. And that awareness now came to me. I cried. And I knew that people would soon come back to the office. I cleaned up, washed my face, and I was like, nothing happened. And that was the pain I was taking all over. You see me, I'll be, and I'm this kind of person that people bring issues to me. I don't know how God did it that way. People will bring issues to me. I'll advise them. I'll counsel them. And so on this day, I was on Facebook and I saw a woman telling a story, how she counseled somebody. That is Wendy Ologe, the parent coach. So I just chat her with my story. I just bring out some things, yes. And she was like, wow, today is Friday. Tomorrow is my family day, but I can't leave you to this. This thing, so many people will have committed suicide. Tomorrow come to so place. My office is in Gwarimpa, here and here and here. The next day, if I show you the picture, how I looked when I went to that place, you will know that I was at the verge of giving up, totally giving up. I had given up 1,000 times. I'll give up, I'll come back again.
You are a strong woman.
Thank you, sir.
The stories I've heard today is we've not had this kind on this program before. Have you healed?
Not totally opposed to. I'm at the verge of healing.
Sharing your story, does it bring you a measure of ease?
Very well.
Well, at what point will you say your healing started?
My healing started, I would say, years back when I started Empowered Girls for Christ Foundation.
So you have a foundation?
Yes, I had a foundation.
Empowered Girls for Christ
Yes,
Foundation.
it was formerly Girls for Christ Foundation, but when we wanted to go for the registration, it was Empowered Girls for Christ Foundation. Yes, sir. So it has not been easy. So knowing that the person he impregnated was much. So that woman counseled me 3 sessions. She normally charged, but she could not collect a penny because of the gravity
of the issue.
Yes. So, and it was that counseling that helped me. So when I went back home, I knew I had to move. And even before then, I was not ready to move. But that his same brother, he was the one that now told the brother what was happening. The brother now said we should come to Ibadan. My people were, my elder brother were, no, you are not going. Dowry not paid, issue of molestation, now issue of pregnancy. You cannot go. Let them come down. Let's sit down. If they really want you to be their wife, sir, I won't lie to you. Even with that happened, I was still willing to make that marriage work. But the brother now said that if I cannot come down to their place, I should go ahead. So that also pained me. I was like, with these children I have, with what I've suffered, so now let me leave it. So in March 2019, I packed to my house. Then I was building a 2-bedroom flat. So I just got loan. My daughter too was already a police officer. Then she got loan. We fixed some things and boom, I went with the children. And probably because he thought maybe I would have been broadcasting what happened, he never came to see the children. He never came. I think the church I finally joined in my community, yes, the church I finally joined in my community, I sat the pastor down and I told him everything because there's no church I joined that I will not become a worker. But I now felt that this man will be seeing me with the children. One day he will call me to ask me. So before he will ask me, where's your husband? Let me kukuma tell him what was going on. So I told him, he said, he has heard from me. He went to my husband twice. He traveled down. He located him and he spoke with him. And it was in the year 2020 when he went to Redeem Camp to pray that he sent me a message. He said, Mommy Yako, you have the right to be happy. Go on with your life. Because all the visit he did, there was nothing to hold and the man was not forthcoming. So he said, but before we do that, I must go back to that man to go and seek for forgiveness. I said, Pastor, what did I do? It's the man that offended me. He said, yes, I should go back to seek for forgiveness. I said, okay. He said I should call him to come to Abuja. I called him. He agreed to come. But after 3 days, he said he was not coming. I called the pastor. He said, if I don't have money, he will give me for transport. I should go. So I called him. I said I was coming. I went. He arranged a place. I said I was not going to the house. So he arranged a place. I think it was a church. So I knelt before him. I mentioned his name. I said, for the past 14 years, we've been together. I've offended you in diverse ways. Please forgive me. And he said, well.
You knelt before who?
I knelt before my husband. Because it was the instruction my pastor gave me. So I knelt before him. I said, forgive me for what I might have done wrong for these 14 years. So he held me. He said, I am not the one to seek for forgiveness. Rather, he is the one to seek for forgiveness. So he also asked that I forgive him. I said, I forgive you. So I stood up and I left. I came back to Abuja. So that was how everything. He never came. I never went there. Until 2017, right? Was it 2017 now? 2027. What am I? 2017. No, this was 2019. 2019. 2021. I was at my son's school. They were having what is it called now, inter-house sports, and my son was winning. He had already gotten 4 medals, so I was happy on that day. We were there, very happy. I got a call, and the person mentioned the area my husband was staying. So I was scared. I thought that something had happened to him. He now asked me, "Am I the wife of so person?" I said yes. He said he's in my community. I said, "It's all okay." He said yes. So I directed him where I was. He brought up an envelope, and it was a summons. Said,
A summon
yes, in the court.
from who?
From my husband. He wanted divorce. So my pastor was not far fetched from me. Immediately I went to him. I said, "Daddy, this is it." And he said, I should go ahead and sign it and give to him. And then we were preparing for our first mega outreach in Empowered Girls for Christ, our first mega outreach that I will ever do. So I called my mentor and I told him, I said, this is what has happened. He said, we will do that outreach. Nothing will stop it. So I was devastated again. I was like, this man, I don't leave you with your wahala. So why are you coming for me again? So the first day I appeared in court, that was on 9th April. 9th April. The outreach was to be 5th April. No, the outreach was 9th and my appearance in court was on 5th. So I appeared in court. I went with my daughter, my first daughter. My elder brother gave me his car and we went together. So in the court, the judge asked me, why do you want divorce? I said, I don't know. I never filed. It was my husband that filed. They asked him, why do you want divorce? The first thing he would say in the court is, I married her as HIV positive. And the noise in the court. And the judge now stopped everything. He called for order and called the two lawyers, my lawyer and his lawyer. And he spoke to them, and I knew that he was not okay with the word my husband said. So they adjourned it. So that was how we finished with the court. He wanted custody of the children, but I wanted the children to be with me. And as God will have it, even the house I built, he laid claims that we built the house together, but no, it was the first house they demolished that we built together. But this second one, after the demolition, he said he was not willing to build a house in Abuja again.
Your house was demolished?
Yes, the first demolition in Abuja. So that was how I started the building, and the custody of the house was given to me and the children. So he had another house, the 1-bedroom flat. That one was given to him, even though I was the one that finished more than half of that, because then I had a project I was doing with UN, with US Embassy, and I was getting money then. So I was the one that almost finished.
So you finally got divorced in 2021?
Yes, 2022 now.
The process.
Yes, the process, yes. Was it 2021 now? 2022. So it was in 2022, November. So that was how we finally got divorced. And they said he could come to see the children anytime he wished to, but he never came. I will call.
See now?
Yes, he came once in 2022 because his daughter, the first daughter, was very sick.
Now,
I called him.
The content of this story, they are sensitive. When or if those who know the both of you see this story and share with him, you take responsibility for this?
Of course, yes. Of course, I'll take full responsibility. And he also knows that there's nothing I've said in this story that did not happen. That is not how it is. There's nothing I've said in this story that didn't happen the way it is.
How are you? You've survived so many things.
Yes, sir. It was in this year he actually saw the whole of his children, because I kept on telling him that you need to see these children. You need to play a fatherly role in the life of these children. 2019 till now, a whooping 6 years. And when the third time he came once, he was sitting with them like this, as if they came for counseling session. There was nothing, because even when we were together, they didn't have any rapport. He doesn't have rapport with the children. So he said I should bring them where he was. And we went there. I think during the holidays last year, we went there. I took them there. And when I got to the bus stop, when he came for us to the park, he was like, am I going to the house? I said, yes, I want to go and see where my children are. And glory be to God that I followed, because the house I knew him with, he had parked from that house. So when we got there, he called his wife out. We never knew he is married. The children don't know.
How about the girl you got pregnant?
He left her. She's here with me. She's here. She's suffering. She has gotten
Where
another
with
child
you?
again. She's here in this same village I am, in Abuja. He left that one. He's married to another woman. Yes, sir. He left the
Is
woman.
she still your daughter?
Who?
Daughter, the girl.
The lady. she doesn't come near me again. Anytime she sees me, she's always begging, Mommy, please forgive. I say, I've forgiven you. I've forgiven. There was
So
a
you
day.
just
Yes. There was a day I even saw her with the small girl. She was crying. She was dragging her to school. I said, what's the problem? She said, she needs biscuits and she doesn't have money. I opened my bag and I gave her money. I said, buy biscuits for her. So anywhere she's today she sells her camel. Tomorrow she's washing plates. So she's even suffering. So what do I want to do for her again? I even pity her. In fact, I was the first person that asked him. I said, this child, don't let this child suffer. Me, I'm working, but this girl, I was the first person he gave 10,000 to send to that girl. I collected money from him to send to that girl. The girl is here. So when we got to his place and we entered into the house, he said, dear, come out, they are here. So when the woman came out, she saw me, she was shocked.
another woman.
Yes, she was shocked. So he said, bring hot water, bring this. They brought. I saw my children the way they were not happy. And I told them something. I said, this is your father's house.
You took them there for how many days?
They stayed for 2 weeks. I came back to Abuja. I left them there for 2 weeks. And my friends were like, you get live a woman that you have never seen anywhere. I said, if I'm no more today, wouldn't he come
And as a matter of fact, you're a police officer, so nobody wants to mess with you. Nobody wants to maltreat the children of the
I
police
left them
officer.
there. And whenever I call them, I tell them, I say, give your stepmother the phone. I talk to her, I say, madam, how are you? How are my children? Hope they are not giving. She said, no. I said, fine. Awesome. And I told them, I said, this is your stepmom. Don't you ever disobey her. You know the instance where you disobey her with what.
But your daughter that you had before meeting the man, she didn't go there with them.
No. She
Okay.
didn't go.
So
she is married, but I don't want to go.
No, let's get there.
I don't even want to go.
Okay. But she's healed now.
She's not.
Okay, we'll get there privately.
She's not.
Okay, this is a very, very.
So, sir, where I started getting healed was that 2015 when I came back, that 2014 when I came back to the marriage. I've been having this nudge to talk to girls because I see what I've passed through. I've passed through a lot, and I knew that such kind of things is happening in homes. So 2015, I started. When I came back, I would just call girls around me, 4 or 5 girls, and we would talk. And the second time, I didn't give them anything, but I now thought, I said, what will I give them so that they can even invite more girls? Yeah. So I thought of sanitary pads.
Wow.
So it wasn't as if then I had a lot, but from the little that I had, I would just buy like 4 or 5, they would come and they were very happy.
My God.
So when things started happening again, when I came back, I stopped.
Wow.
Because I started judging myself. I was like, Pat, you are not the best person to talk to girls. You have gone through...
that voice was judging me.
You've gone through... in those days, I used to tell myself, you were single, you have lived a life as a single, you have lived a life as a single parent, as a single mother first, before a single parent, and a divorce. So I will calculate all these things. And I'll say I'm not the best place. But in 2020, during the COVID, the girls came. They came to my house. They came like 3 times and they did not meet me. And the 4th one, I was there. They were like, Mommy, we have come. And that 2020, I was also praying. I was like, God, tell me what to do. What will I do? I know that I'm a wounded shoulder, but I don't want to leave serving God because that is the only thing I know that I can do to help me. So immediately the girl said that, Mommy, please, we want you to help us. Now we're at home. That thing you were teaching us before, it has been helping us. And immediately I heard that voice. That is what I've asked you to do. But you don't want to do it and you are praying. So immediately we started in May 2020.
Wow.
Back to back every Saturday. I was teaching them. My pastor's wife then was helping me.
My God.
Was bringing people I know that are children of God. I was bringing them to speak to the girls.
Yeah.
I now thought again, these girls, they will need empowerment. So, and me, because of the background, my mom was doing a lot of handwork. So I started teaching them skills, how to make throw pillows, different kind of throw pillows, liquid soap, Vaseline, a lot of things. What I don't know how to do, I will invite somebody and I'll tell them, come, we don't have money to pay you. Will you be able to help these girls? Will say yes, they will come. So that was how we were doing it.
And you still run it now?
I still run it.
Praise God.
I still run it. Hallelujah. So like in last year, we visited 4 schools. We visited 4 schools last year and we visited 2 indigent communities. The communities I'm talking about are communities that even a government personnel in my community, when I told him I went there, he said they will not give him 5 million to go there. So, and the project we are running now is a project where we open sanitary pad banks in indigent communities where girls cannot afford. And in 2024, we're able to open 2, one in my community. It was open. We opened officially. We called people.
So girls who can afford to buy sanitary pad can come.
Yes, they come
and then get it. And then
and that is in Amak. That is in Gosa community in Amak. And the second one that we opened was in Go Mani community.
Now we've raised the campaign and wondering why in sometimes schools and all that, some places they distribute condoms for people for free, and then sanitary pad is sold.
That's our slogan, sir. If condoms are being given for free, then sanitary pads should also be given for free.
Can you imagine? That's so.
That's our slogan.
And this is you forging ahead with your life and helping others, despite your pain and your injury. Wow. I don't know what we say to this story, but this is as deep as I can imagine.
So I want to say something.
Yes.
My story has been one that I've been wanting to share. I've shared parts on my page on Facebook. Yes, many people. If you go to my page on Facebook, I've
Please
shared
put the Facebook
parts.
page there so that people can follow.
I've shared parts on my Facebook page, and many people had followed me. Even though it didn't go down with. I don't want to go into that because it was part of my church hurt. So I don't want to go into that. I have shared some things like having my child, how I suffered. I've shared so many things. But there is this thing in me that has told me that I am going to share this story in a bigger platform for people to be blessed. But I never knew the platform. I never knew the platform. So when I started following you early last year, podcast, I yearned to be under your ministry, but I was like, these kind of people now, they know the Abuja. And I never knew that Light Nation was in Abuja. So I will follow, I'll be in the office, I'll be following everything I'm following until during your birthday that I knew. And when I saw stories, I say, yes, this is it. This is it.
My God.
Because I was like, my page is not that large enough. I want to tell my story in a larger page where people
can see it.
Home and abroad will be blessed. And Apostle, I won't mind word. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I know that my story is going to turn people's life. So even in this, my Girls for Christ, stories that comes from my own girls. I have a girl in my girl that confided in me that a pastor has wanted to sleep with her.
My God.
If not for God. Even myself here, I jumped off those places. So there are a lot going on. So we do mentorship, we do empowerment, we speak to these girls, and we do menstrual hygiene management. Like that's Go Mani community we went with. Oh my God. If you see the video, I have the videos. When the girls spoke, some of them cannot even afford underwears to even use with the pad, talk less of buying pads. So that is it. So right now we have a project that we are running. We want to reach 10,000 girls in the next 5 years.
Would like to get the account details for this initiative, so we can put it on the screen for people home and abroad to be a part of that, because that work is noble.
Thank you, sir.
And then we as a ministry also, would like to also be a part of that.
Thank you, sir.
Because, well, the issue of there was a case we attended to of a woman who gave birth in the village. There was the process were not hygienic, and twins. And the both of them died. And the mother later died too.
Oh my God.
You see, so whatever we can do to intervene in this is so important. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
And for sharing this story, because this is going to touch millions of people around the world. And the joy is the impact that these stories bring beyond what we can describe. So for the courage to share this, I don't know what to say, but God bless you.
Yes, sir.
And
I forgot to add something.
Yes.
I have a book I wrote also last 2 years now.
Okay, what's
Not
title?
Again.
Not Again.
Yes. It talks about a church girl. It's part of my story too. It talks about a church girl who portrays the form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. So though I have not published it as an ebook, so
is it available on like Seller or Amazon?
Yes, it's on Seller.
Oh, good. So we just like to get the. Yes, so we'll put it on the screen right now, so you can see it. You can get it on Seller.
It's a book that touches every facet of the church anyway, because of what I've passed through. So I was just getting the leading to do that, and I'm also writing a book right now, though I'm not done. From pain to purpose. From pain to purpose.
Amazing.
I'm not yet done. I'm just trying to recap to finish. Trying to do the editing and everything. So I don't know. I believe we are done, but I will not want to finish these stories without thanking some persons in my life. First of all, I want to thank my parents because of the background. Most time when people hear this kind of story, they say maybe you come from a background that didn't work. But I came from a background that worked. I never saw my parents having issues. I never saw them until my mom died. And I also want to say thank you to my siblings. They've been, even when I knew that I was positive, I told them. They were the first persons after my husband I told. They have protected and supported me like nothing. And I want to tell them, I have kept all this because I wanted a larger platform. Most things I said, they don't know.
Wow.
They don't even know.
Wow.
Most things, the molestation, and they don't even know. So I've kept this so that a larger platform will hear. And for anyone, the pastors that have been in my life, I say thank you for grooming me. Personal friends and those that never let go. Coach Wendy Ologi, I want to say thank you for that counsel. And most of all, I want to say thank you to Apostle Femi Lazarus. Sir, I feel like lying down.
Please don't.
I feel that lying down to say thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know that whatsoever is remaining for my healing journey, God will help me. But yet, my thanks goes much to most of your teachings. Gilead 1-6, church hurt, getting healed from a pain that seems not to go.
Yes.
All those things.
You know them by head in your heart.
Because I kept.
My God.
I really, there are some that after I will pray and I will mention names. My stepmom is there. What I suffered is there. There are things that I don't want to go into it, but like when you started prayer today, you told us 2 stories. The first story, I commented, I say, that one is for me. So I want to say thank you for those messages.
Thank
you for those messages. And also I want to say thank you to Sister Nkoyo who followed me up. She's an amazing person in Light Nations. Thank you. She has been following me and following me. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
God bless you.
Amen, sir.
We have received stories. I will tell you that the impact of this one, we cannot quantify.
Praise God.
The only question on my mind now is that who exactly am I interviewing today? How can one person survive all this and yet still standing? And there's still so much ahead to be done.
Jesus.
God has helped you.
Yeah, amen. You are asking same question I asked when the first day I got to Light Mission. No, was it the first day? That is the closed door meeting in Light Camp because we were not able to attend Light Camp.
Okay.
So
Yes, closed door. You were there.
Yes, I was there with my children.
Okay.
Even the 11 years we were there together.
Amazing.
We were not able to attend Light Camp, but I bought an MP3. 247. All of the service we joined.
My God.
And in that closed door meeting, if I'm standing up, I will shout, "Who are you, Pastor Femi Lazarus?" That's what I was screaming.
Amazing.
Because I can't understand. So where I sit in the church, I want to see your face because seeing your face I will smile. I will always smile. So I will say, God, thank you. Thank you for directing me. Thank you for this direction. Thank you. So I am so excited. Even my children, sir, Ashotele, something happened in Ashotele.
Oh, wow.
My children, because of pain, they cannot talk now.
Yes.
But I'm a child mentor. I know what they don't talk much. So if they're in church, I'll always be the one to tell them, stand up now. Don't you see? But I promised myself that in Light Nation, I will not do that. So if they are sitting down, I'll worship my team. But in Ashotele, my son, I feel like standing up to demonstrate. My son was praying. My daughter was praying. Every time they are very tall, they were praying. They were praising. I wept in Ashotele. I said, God, thank you. I say, God, thank you. Because I know that gradually pain is being taken away from those children.
Yes.
Pain is being taken away from those children.
Wow. I feel so privileged hearing all this.
My children have been
I feel so privileged.
Too. My son don't used to dance in church.
But
he's dancing.
On
Sunday, he danced himself out. Crossover service, my son went out to go and dance. For the past 10 years, I've not seen that.
My God.
We all went out to go and dance with his cousin. The cousin is around. So they went out. Even my daughter that is shimmy shy, everybody went out. We danced.
And that's one thing about Light Nation is the family atmosphere.
Honestly.
It's just like that.
So I just thank. I told them I was coming to stories. My daughter was like, "Mommy, are you ready?" I said, "Yes."
Wow.
And I said, "You will hear things you have never heard before."
My God. God bless you.
Amen, sir. Amen. Amen.
Wow. That's all we can say today. This is as real as it gets. The issue is that one of the reasons why our society is what it is the culture of silence. Because the culture of having to share a story on the platform is countercultural, which is exactly what we need to do for people to have the deep-seated healing that is required. In fact, one of the things I'm planning soon is to bring every guest that has been on these stories together for us to have like as I use a reunion of the aftermath of sharing your story. We've had tremendous testimonies from the resultant effect of just sharing their stories and seeing how those stories healed people and the healing that followed, perfecting their own healing also. And we know this will not be any different. We're grateful to you. We're grateful to God Almighty who has helped you to survive what you have survived. We're grateful to everyone that has been in your life till now, the families, siblings. And you might have heard things that are shocking, and that's exactly how life is. God bless you for all that you've done. And to everyone connected today, we have absolutely no words. God bless you. Thank you for connecting with us on this episode of Stories. Till we come your way again. Bye-bye.